A warm greeting. Today is Wednesday, October 25, 2023. This is meteorologist Ruben Garcia. In this video, we will be discussing several disturbances that we will be monitoring over the next few days and the upcoming week. First, we will talk about Hurricane Tammy, which will continue its erratic path across the Atlantic. There is still uncertainty about whether it will eventually move towards the southwest region of the Atlantic or continue its north-northeast trajectory over open Atlantic waters. Additionally, we will discuss Invest 92, which is located south of Guatemala and El Salvador and is associated with what was Tropical Depression Number 21, which crossed over Nicaragua. It is currently positioned over the eastern Pacific waters, where it has a high probability of reorganizing into a tropical cyclone. It is important for residents in southern Mexico and throughout Central America to remain vigilant about its evolution. In the final part of the video, I will discuss the potential development of a tropical cyclone in the central and western Caribbean region at the end of October and the beginning of November, which could be of interest to Central America and the Caribbean in general. Let's start by looking at the visible satellite animation of Hurricane Tammy, which has been strengthening over the past 24 hours. It is currently a Category 2 hurricane with maximum sustained winds of 100 miles per hour. This tropical cyclone is merging with a frontal system, so it is very likely that over the next few days, it will transition into a non-tropical system. That is precisely what the official forecast from the National Hurricane Center indicates, with a degradation to a non-tropical system expected by Thursday afternoon. However, it is anticipated that over the next 5 days, the circulation related to what will become a subtropical system will remain over Atlantic waters, and there is still uncertainty about whether it will move southwestward or take a northeast-northward turn. While there is a possibility that it may move near the Bahamas and the southeastern United States, we have seen a trend in the models today showing a northeastward trajectory over open Atlantic waters. Nevertheless, we will closely monitor its progress in case it might eventually approach the Bahamas and the state of Florida. At this point, there is no reason to be concerned because this is a long-term forecast, and we do not know exactly which path it will take over the next week. Now, let's talk about Invest 92, which is located just south of El Salvador and Guatemala. In the visible satellite animation, we can observe the rotation associated with this disturbance. It is linked to what used to be Tropical Depression Number 21. This low-pressure system will be in an area favorable for cyclonic organization. For this reason, the National Hurricane Center has increased the probability to 70% for the development of a tropical depression over the next 7 days, south of El Salvador, Guatemala, and the state of Oaxaca. It is important for residents of Guerrero, Michoacán, Oaxaca, Chiapas, Guatemala, El Salvador, Nicaragua, and Honduras to remain vigilant about the evolution of this future cyclone. There is also uncertainty regarding whether it will follow a path towards Mexico or Central America. This uncertainty in its trajectory can be seen in specialized path models, where some of them project a west-northwestward movement passing near Michoacán and Guerrero, while others suggest a path closer to Guatemala and Chiapas, and others indicate a trajectory towards El Salvador and Honduras. We truly do not know exactly where this future tropical cyclone will be heading, so we will need to monitor it closely until we have a better forecast. Let's examine the projections from global models concerning Invest 92. Let's begin with the GFS model. You can see that by Friday afternoon, it has a tropical storm developing south of El Salvador and then maintains a slow westward movement. Later, it moves northeast-northward and perhaps impacts the southern part of Guatemala early next week. Look at the projection from the European model, which also develops a tropical depression or tropical storm by late Friday afternoon south of El Salvador. In this case, the European model predicts a very slow movement through the region, eventually moving over the western coast of Nicaragua on Sunday night or Monday morning. This is an example of the great uncertainty regarding the future path of this tropical cyclone. Furthermore, the UK model forecast has a low-pressure system moving very slowly south of the state of Chiapas and southwest of Guatemala. The German model forecast also has this future cyclone moving erratically and very slowly across the region, remaining just south of El Salvador and Guatemala. This significant uncertainty in the trajectory can be observed in the ensemble members of the GFS model. Some of them show a path over El Salvador, Nicaragua, and Honduras, while others have a path over Chiapas and southern Guatemala, and others move towards the region of Nicaragua. The ensemble members of the European model also show different scenarios, from a northwest-westward path passing very close to the coasts of Michoacán and Guerrero, to a path over Guatemala and El Salvador, and another moving eastward over the region of Nicaragua. Additionally, the ensemble members of the European model display low-pressure areas south of Jamaica. Some of them are associated with Invest 92 if it moves eastward over Nicaragua, while others show the development of low pressure related to a significant drop in atmospheric pressure in the central and western Caribbean region. This is precisely the area that we will monitor at the end of October or the beginning of November, as models project lower than normal pressure anomalies in this region. Climatologically, this region has seen cyclonic development in November during other hurricane seasons. This possibility can be observed in the ensemble members of the GFS model. For the end of October, they have low pressure areas developing to the east of Honduras and Nicaragua, or to the south of Cuba and Jamaica. The ensemble members of the European model show a 40 to 45% chance of a tropical depression forming at the beginning of next week just south of the island of Jamaica. Additionally, you can see that to the south of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, there is a 15 to 20% chance of a tropical depression forming. In summary, Hurricane Tammy does not pose a current threat to land areas. However, it is important for residents of southern Mexico, Central America, and the Caribbean to remain vigilant about the progress of Invest 92 and the possibility of cyclonic development in the Caribbean Sea. Remember that here at Hurricane Info, we will continue to monitor the progress of this forecast and keep you informed. To make sure you don't miss any of our videos, click on the red button below the video that says subscribe, and then click on the bell to receive notifications when we upload new videos. Before I sign off, I wanted to mention that our thoughts and prayers are with the residents of Acapulco and Guerrero in Mexico, where the powerful Hurricane Otis made landfall, causing a catastrophe in the region. We wish the residents of Guerrero a speedy recovery and deeply regret the difficult situation they have had to endure. Well, with that, I bid you farewell, and I'll see you next time.